Today marks exactly 1 year since the assassination attempt on Donald Trump during the 2024 election campaign. And today, the United States Secret Service gave Donald Trump an unpleasant surprise by releasing new details about the assassination attempt that had not been previously reported. The new report on the assassination attempt against President Trump in Butler, Pennsylvania last summer reveals a series of Secret Service mistakes that led to the attempt. But there are also some very interesting details in this report. My name is Alexi Pici and today is July 13th. We'll get to everything in order, but before we start, I ask you to subscribe to this channel, like the video, leave any comment you want, and be sure to subscribe to my Telegram channel, Pici News. The link to it is in the description of this video. There we publish breaking news as it comes in. If you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened. So, exactly 1 year ago, the whole world watched footage of the attacker opening fire on then United States presidential candidate Donald Trump. July 13, 2024 became one of the most pivotal moments of Trump's entire campaign, and the following days completely changed the course of the United States general election and the Make America Great Again movement. Less than 48 hours after the assassination attempt, Trump appointed then-Senator James David Vance as his vice presidential candidate. 3 days later, Trump triumphantly took the stage at the Republican National Convention in Milwaukee with a bandage on his ear where the bullet had struck. And on that same Sunday, then-President Joe Biden announced he was dropping out of the race after his disastrous debate performance in June. So, in fact, the assassination attempt in Butler completely turned the election race upside down and played into Donald Trump's hands. After the assassination attempt, Trump's team deliberately decided to speed up the former president's schedule and focus all attention on Donald Trump's sacrifice. The goal was to show that Trump is more determined than ever to win. Let me remind you, after the bullet grazed Trump's ear, he fell behind the podium and Secret Service agents rushed to him. But as soon as the gunfire stopped, Trump stood up, blood running down his face, and he raised his fist in the air with a shout of "Fight!" That slogan defined the entire election campaign. On that very same day, Trump's campaign immediately printed the photo of Trump with his raised fist on t-shirts, mugs, posters, and so on. And this continued throughout the entire election campaign. And in addition, the Republicans immediately launched a campaign criticizing the Democrats. They claimed that the liberal media and Democrats incited hatred toward Trump, leading to the assassination attempt. From that moment on, Trump's victory in the election was in the bag. And today, the United States Audit Chamber has prepared a report at the request of Republican Senator from Iowa, Chuck Grassley, who stated in his statement that what happened at Trump's rally on July 13, 2024 was the result of a series of poor decisions and bureaucratic delays. And the report states that the agency failed to take security measures that could have prevented this assassination attempt. The office of Republican Senator Grassley released the report on Saturday, that is, a day before the anniversary of the assassination attempt on Trump. And the report highlights numerous failures by the Secret Service, serious communication breakdowns, as well as a lack of clear and comprehensive instructions for agents at the rally. The publication Politico notes that the report states that senior agency officials were aware of a possible threat against Donald Trump even before the rally. So, it turns out the Secret Service knew that something was being prepared. However, this threat was allegedly not specifically related to the rally on July 13 or to an armed criminal. Well, they knew that something was being prepared, but they definitely didn't expect it to happen on July 13, and that it definitely wasn't connected to a person with a weapon entering the area where the rally was being held. The Secret Service and local law enforcement agencies were unaware of the threat because of the agency's fragmented practice of sharing classified information about threats. That's what the report says. The report recommended that the agency make changes to Secret Service policy, requiring it to share information about threats within the organization in advance. This could help ensure that its agents and partners have the information they need to provide effective protection. The report also noted failures in planning and communication, agent training, and resource allocation for those under the protection of the service. And now I'll quote Grassley, that same Republican senator. The Secret Service failure on July 13, 2024 was the culmination of years of ineffective work and occurred after the Biden administration rejected requests to strengthen security measures to protect President Trump. Americans should be grateful that President Trump survived that day and was ultimately re-elected, restoring common sense to our country. I hope that this significant infusion of resources will make a big difference in speeding up the agency's work. I'll explain this resource infusion later. What's important now is something else. So Grassley is saying that this was a great moment, that with this assassination attempt we were able to show all Americans what this is. The Biden administration rejected requests to increase security measures for Donald Trump's rallies. So, does that mean the Biden administration actually wanted to get rid of him? During the assassination attempt on Trump, who was a presidential candidate at the time, the attacker fired 8 shots, one of which grazed Trump's ear. One of the members of Trump's team, Comprera, was killed and 2 others were injured. Subsequently, a sniper shot and killed the attacker. Today's report states that during the rally, many Secret Service agents experienced limited connectivity on their mobile phones, which may have hindered effective communication. Senator Grassley noted that the agency was allocated more than $1 billion under the recently passed law called the One Big Beautiful Bill. He noted that he will work with the agency to fix what was broken as the chairman of the Senate Judiciary Committee. Well, that means Trump pushed through an increase in funding for the Secret Service, which is responsible for his protection. I'll leave it at that. No, I don't want to focus too much on this topic, but still, please write your opinion, your conclusions about the assassination attempt on Donald Trump, which happened exactly a year ago today. What do you think? How did this assassination attempt affect the entire election campaign in 2024? Friends, subscribe to this channel, click the bell, and don't forget to like. And if you want to support the work of this channel, you can do so financially with any donation. By the links and details in the description of this video and by the QR code on your screens. I will be grateful for your support. That's all for now. Take care of yourselves. Goodbye, everyone.